it on earlier. I guess I messed up. Okay, this is better. I thought I was unmuting it, but I guess I never muted it to begin with, so you guys heard me tinkering around getting ready. Oh well, we're ready to start now, I hope. Yeah, we should be. Okay, so I have stuff going on. I've done some work since last night, and I want to get into that and give you guys sort of like a progress report about where we are in this project and how much I've got finished. So I'm going to set a couple of these pieces aside because before we do that, I want to show you the package that I just got from the leather place that I order stuff from. So I'm going to move these straps and lay them out over here. Hopefully, depending on how productive I am today, maybe we can start actually cutting those and assembling the harness, which would be really, really awesome, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. So first of all, this is the package that I ordered from Hide House, which is a leather distributor in San Francisco, I think, or the San Francisco area at the very least. So I ordered this like on Wednesday, really, really recently. And I did not think it would arrive until at least Monday, but it's here now, which is exciting, and I don't have my mock-up finished. But, yeah, I have not yet seen what is in the inside. I know what I ordered, which is only one thing, but I'm excited to see it in person. And so I thought I would share this moment with you all. Hello, everyone who's saying hello. Christamella's Craft is back today. Pink Thorn is here in the chat, like usual. Within One Tiger, Shelb, C. There's a lot of Link fans here. Loaderbot. So hello to everyone. I know that I didn't take a moment to say hello to all of you who are saying hello to me. Armin Windsor is asking, did I watch the anime for Attack on Titan or read the manga? I did both. But that might also just be a general question for everyone in the chat who wants to answer that. Anyway, I'm really excited about this order, and I'm hoping that the contents are as beautiful as, you know, I imagined. But this will be the moment of truth. Oh, that's a good sign. Oh, Loaderbot, thank you. So Loaderbot tweeted at me yesterday that he had just gotten in a package that was full of what am I trying to say? Leather tools. And I thought that was a really, really nice set. I was really impressed with the stuff that you got in that package, Loaderbot. So I was going to ask you if that like came in a kit together or whether you picked out those items or like what the deal with that is. And if you did get them all in a kit somewhere, I would love to see a link to that so I can recommend it to people, because I think that what you have is a really good starter set if you want to do a number of the things that we've done here on the stream. Misty Legends Cast said that they got some use out of the border tool and their Aisha crown from Outlaw Star. Is that Aisha Clan? I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. I don't remember. Aisha Clan. Armin Windsor says the Titans are creepier in the manga. That might be true. They're super creepy all the time. But he really goes all out with giving them like weird faces that are just really unsettling. I find their skin to be really gross and creepy in the manga, in the anime especially, because it has color, and you can kind of like see the weird skin texture going through. Oh, thank you for the donation, Link fan. Thank you for the tip. Getting us started here today. I appreciate that. Okay, Loaderbot says it all came in a kit except for one thing that he ordered separately. So yeah, that's still really, really useful. If you don't mind sharing that link with one of our mods, can give you permission to share it in the chat, and then I will try to hold on to that link. You could also just tweet it at me or message me or something, and I will definitely be recommending that kit to other people, you know, assuming it's a good price and whatever, but it looks like a really good starter set. Alright guys, here we go. I finally have like dug into this far enough as you're all sitting here patiently watching me just struggle with this. Lizard Mouth, thank you. That's a very kind thing to say. Yeah, Pink Thorn says the Titan design is meant to be the uncanny valley effect in action, which is where something is like very similar to looking human but not quite there, and it's like really unsettling. Yeah, I definitely agree. Oh, awesome. Shelbs is working on their Normal Boots club jacket, which I made one of those, I guess, a couple of years ago, last year maybe, 2 years ago. Alright guys, here it is. Here's my order that I've been patiently awaiting since Wednesday. This is so soft. Okay, let me unroll it. I'm sure that if you're looking at the screen right now, you won't have any trouble identifying what this is supposed to be. I'm just gonna take it out of this cardboard. Ooh. So this is plunge. This is, I believe, a cowhide, but it's like been processed and like thinned down in such a way that it's very similar to like lambskin in the thickness, the weight, and the way it handles. So it's very, very soft. It's pretty thin. You could probably sew this on a domestic sewing machine with the right needles and feet. But it's really, really nice. Ooh, I'm so happy with this. I was afraid it would be like too dark and orangey, but now comparing it to this picture right here, I think it's perfect. Okay, great. Loaderbot has links for us too. Oh, it's from Amazon? That's super convenient. I'm following your link, Loaderbot. Okay, so this is the German. That's still useful. I will figure out whether or not that's on other Amazons as well. It might be in English. But they probably ship everywhere, right? I'm assuming. Anyway, I think that's a really good set. And especially, I guess, if you're in Europe and that'll be closer to you to order from there. You should check out the link that Loaderbot is posting because it's got all kinds of cool like tools in there that'll be a really good basic beginner set. Yes, I have an iced tasty. I decided that I deserved this. And so for lunch, I went and during lunchtime, I went and got them and brought it back. But yes. Bombsay is asking tips on how to learn sewing. Watch a lot of YouTube videos and Twitch streams, including mine. Yes, this is Heidi's leather lust for the jacket leather. Everyone has guessed here in the chat correctly. This is hopefully enough to do 2 jackets. We'll see. I've got to like roll this out. But this is going to have to happen off stream because I need to really concentrate on making this. I've never made a leather jacket before. I feel up to this one because it's more along with like a simpler design. It doesn't have zippers, doesn't have closures and some other things to deal with. But I still am going to need all of my concentration for that. So I'm going to have to set this aside. Oh, I think the color is more accurate in the top view actually. Because my camera here is like weirdly dark and like the colors aren't very saturated, but I think it's a little bit more, like you can see the richness in the face cam. I think it's a little bit closer to that in real life, or maybe it's between the 2 shades. But either way, I'm happy with it. I think this is going to be a good color match for the jackets as they're seen on the show itself. So I'm really happy with this. I'm not sure if the jackets, I know I've said this like every stream, I'm not sure if the jacket's going to be ready for Anime Expo next week, so I've just decided not to sweat it. They're just going to be ready when they're ready. It'll be cool if I can make them for next week, and I'm going to at least give it a shot, but we'll see. I'm also struggling with depression, so, you know, we'll see what gets done. I'm going to set this aside over here. And FYI, I do have like paper covering my floor. I'm not just setting down my brand new fresh leather on the ground. That would be not a good use of my time. Oh, everyone is here. Thank you guys so much for coming and saying hi and cheering me up. Okay, now that we've gotten that that leather lust out of the way. Oh, Bombsay, thank you for following. I'm gonna pull up the rest of my pieces and show you guys what progress I've made and where we're at on the other things. Give me a second till I get some of this packaging out of the way. A lot of the, so I told you on a previous stream that I'm making an Attack on Titan costume. I'm basically making costumes for 2. I'm making one for me, and then I'm making one for other people to wear, whoever I'm cosplaying with. But the first person who will be wearing it will be Jared, because I'm always roping him into my cosplay plans. There we go. I'm just gonna like fold this over so it's useful again. So Jared's gonna cosplay Attack on Titan with me at Anime Expo, and I'm very, very excited about that. And so with that goal in mind, I've started assembling a Moblet costume, which is the character who is Hanji's assistant, and he's the one who's always following her around screaming like, "Squad leader, please! No!" While she gets into all kinds of ill-advised antics. Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted. Let's put this away. So, you know, that seems pretty in character for Jared and I. And so now he's going to be my faithful assistant Moblet at Anime Expo. It followed me around, you know, taking care of me. And so with that in mind, I've been working on assembling all the stuff for that. Oh, Aries won't sit on it. If he does, I'll yell at him. Link fan is asking if Jared's shirt is making me feel better. Yes, I'm wearing Jared's shirt today, which you might recognize from some of Jared's videos, because he wears this shirt all the time. And yeah, it is improving my mood. I'm having a better day because of it. Sorry, I just like lifted up my laptop and didn't consider the fact that my camera is attached to it. Aw, thank you, Within One Tiger, who says that they have confidence that I'll make a beautiful jacket. I appreciate that. So one of the other things I did yesterday was I did a little bit of dyeing. This is, oh, you can really see the color difference between the two cameras. Oops. Oh well. So once again, the top view is a little bit more accurate. This is like a dark green, like kind of teal color. This is Moblet's shirt that I dyed. It was originally light blue because that was one of the colors that they had. This is like a brand of shirts that I know that Jared would already fit because he had one identical to this. So since they didn't have the exact color, I just bought one that I knew that I could dye and did it myself. But that way I wasn't really gambling on the fit. So that's what we have for Mr. Moblet to wear. And then the other thing that I dyed, that I feel like I should put up a disclaimer, this is ill-advised. But I dyed some suede leather with eye dye, which is not what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to like dye it in a pot of dye, because I think I was reading that some of those dyes, like RIT dye, contains salt and it can break down the leather, and so this is like not the thing that you're supposed to do at all. But it's what I did. So yeah, it came out pretty well. I had this like heavy white suede that I really, really liked, and I went to several different stores and couldn't find it anywhere in gray. So finally I was just like, whatever, I'll give this a shot, and if it doesn't work, or if it falls apart, or like breaks down the leather, or something weird happens, then whatever, I can still replace this part. But so far it seems to be so good. I left it on my dress form to dry overnight and just kind of like held it in position with some pins going through the holes. But this is our like back shoulder piece that holds everything in place around the shoulders. And I'm kind of wondering if the concept of wet molding applies here, if putting it on this thing to dry. Yeah, I think it has given it some shape. Anyway, I'm gonna deal with that later. So that is where those things are at. And a few more pieces that have been updated since our last stream. These are the weird little pouch things that go on the side. I have several things that need a little bit more dye or a little bit of finishing, so that's what I'm going to work on next. Evanette says that they can't stay long, but they'd love to drop by. I'm glad that you were able to stay here at all if you are still around. Sorry that I didn't respond to that immediately, but thanks for joining us, Evanette. And thank you all for the good vibes. Today is good. Hanji is absolutely my favorite character. Hilda's asking in the chat. Hanji is my super favorite. I feel like she's really misunderstood by a lot of casual fans. I have really strong Hanji feelings, and I've already spent some time of our streams going into my long Hanji rants, so I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to hold it in, but I just wanted to let you know that I have a lot of strong feelings about Hanji. Let me see what else I have to show you guys. I have belt loops that I dyed on stream. These have actually already been sealed. I did them last night. And these are sealed with like an oil rather than, they're weatherproofed. So I'm hoping that's actually also gonna seal the color. I need to test that, but they should be waterproof now, which is what would really cause the pigment to like kind of be reactivated anyway. So I think they're theoretically going to be fine, but I want to make sure none of the color like rubs off onto my shirt. Yeah, there's a lot of small pieces to these harnesses that I kind of forgot, because you look at it and you're just like, oh, it's a bunch of straps, but it's actually a lot more than a bunch of straps. And so I'm still assembling all of the little pieces. Where is it? Oh. This guy is like the weird... This is not a piece that I made. This is part of the harness that I bought. It's like flimsy. It's basically vinyl. It's supposed to be real leather, but it's so processed it might as well be vinyl. But anyway, this... I made some replacement parts for this that are outside right now, and I'm going to have to go out there again and put some more paint on them in a bit. But those are also underway. Man, my hair like won't stay out of my face right now. I think I just need to just shove it all under the hat after all. Alright, so these things, the color is a little bit darker on them. I want to see what I can do on this Logitech, the overhead camera, because it's kind of gross looking. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. But I just hate that you can't see all of the detail because of like the weird white balance and weird brightness settings. Is that better? I mean, it is brighter, but is it actually better? You guys tell me. This screen is also so incredibly small that it's almost impossible to see what I'm doing, so I'm really hoping I'm not messing something up. Alright, whatever, that's fine. I'm not using the harness that I ordered because it's cheap and gross, so I'm making a better one. That's what this whole stream is about, is making a better one. But yeah, I did buy a harness originally and I wore it to Acon and it was fine. It did what I needed it to do. It looked like the costume, but it's not what I want. And I'm a leather worker, so I don't want to wear something that's cheap and gross. I want to wear something that's really nice that I made out of leather. So that's what I'm up to. Tit Peaks says Krista / Historia is the best girl. Yeah, she's cute. I like her a lot too. Everyone's talking about their favorite character. Levi's got a vote. Hanji has another vote. Yeah, I had to buy one just to like get it. Okay, I decided to wear my Hanji costume like a week before the con for Acon. I was just like, whatever, sure, I'll make this costume in 1 week. Well, I didn't want to make anything, I just bought it. So it was sort of an impulse buy, but then after I got it and started wearing it, I was like, oh, I really love this. I should make it nice. So now that's where we're at. I also have a different confession, which is that I messed up on some of these pieces. There's 3 sitting here now, and the reason is that I had to remake 3 of them because I messed them up. I put them in the oven because I wanted them to be a little bit hardened, but I had put too much water on them and the temperature was too high, and it basically just, it made them crinkle up like leather chips, and it was horrible, and I was really upset. But I remade them yesterday. They need another coat of dye. This is like the finished one that has multiple coats. I think this is just 2 coats, and these all have 1. So the first thing I'm doing today is putting another coat on the ones that I messed up. Alright. So I'm trying to get to my dashboard. Alright. So I'm down to my last dauber in this package because I've just been like burning through them. Oh, I guess I should save that, whatever. And then back to the leather dye. This is the bison brown that we've been using on basically everything. I wanted to show you that these are darker pieces, and the belt loops that I prepared are also darker. That's intentional because they're supposed to look a little bit darker. There's some color variation in the anime. It's really subtle, but I'm trying to do my best to replicate like those little details. So the way that I did that was I used the same dye on them, but then I sealed it with the mink oil, which naturally darkens the entire leather. So whatever color is on it will become darker. And so I just chose that as a way to get more pigment on there, as well as the functional quality of the oil as for sealing the color. So this will probably like absorb and then lighten up a little bit to match the other one, I'm hoping. Because usually it goes on darker than it actually ends up as. Within One Tiger is asking what drink am I using, or what drink am I drinking? It's just an iced latte. I like to keep my drinks really simple. I don't like a lot of sweetener or other crap or flavors in them. I just want latte. I just want coffee with milk. Or espresso with milk, I guess, technically. Alright, I'm trying to get this down into the punched holes as well. The Master of Air. Thank you for following. Are you an airbender? That's what I'm imagining. Can I hear the music that is playing on stream? Yes, I can. It's my desktop audio, so it's playing from my desktop. That's what you guys are hearing. I need to link to that playlist. Yeah, no unicorn drinks for me. That thing looked disgusting. You could not have paid me to drink that. But you know, it's a gimmick. I'm sure it was very successful for Starbucks. Not for me. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do... I'm actually just going to do this right away because I want to keep everything moving along. This is my little edging roller that I showed you on a previous stream. I think I'm going to top it off too because it's a little bit low. This is Edge Coat, which is like a... It's kind of like a paint, but I think it's thicker and more like rubbery than paint. And it creates a coating on the edge. Hence the name Edge Coat. And I need to get like... I just need to go get some paper towels. I'll be right back. I should have done it before we started, but I need a new roll. So anyway, this edge coat, unsurprisingly, coats the edge. There we go. And then gives you a really nice, like, clean, finished edge on your leather without having to do beveling and burnishing and a bunch of extra steps. So this is something that's more simple. It's a more simple solution. But I think it will be nice for this particular project. Okay, so yeah, I've done this, I did this on Wednesday night, but now we'll just continue along. This is basically a roller that travels through the edge coat and picks it up, and then you just roll your piece along the top of it, and it is continually distributing a fresh supply of this edge coat to the edges as it touches. So now, here's a guy with a nice, like, liquidy edges that are going to dry over there. I'll let that hang out. So this dye becomes dry to the touch very, very quickly, and I am wearing gloves, so I'm not too worried about handling this. I think that's going to be fine, and then everything can be kind of like drying and settling into it at the same time. And I can set those aside. What beer is the best beer? Dragon and Galaxy's asking. Shiner Bock is the best beer. Link Fan says that when he was younger, every children's show taught him that money is evil, so he keeps throwing it at Jared and Heidi. Yeah, you know what? That's wonderful. They were right. All of those shows are correct. Money is evil. You should definitely give us to us instead. Just kidding. Thank you for your generosity. Link Fan, you are wonderful. Smutty Nose. Armin in Windsor says Smutty Nose is the best beer. I've never heard of that. That's fascinating. Is that local to somewhere? Let me know. Another one. Guinness. Guinness is a good beer too. From New Hampshire. Okay. The Smutty Nose beer is from New Hampshire. That's interesting. Hey, Char's here. Yeah, beer is kind of an acquired taste. It took me a while to really like it, but Jared still doesn't drink beer. He'll drink like a couple beers. Or certain beers he'll enjoy, but very rarely. One little spot on the corner that I missed. Alright, there we go. I'm setting them upside down so that the edges are curled upwards and hopefully not making contact with the paper, if we can avoid it. Alright, so that is underway. All of that is good to go. Let me take a look at these bad boys. These need snaps in them, and I'm wondering, I don't have my like snap setter set up first. I'm just gonna try to work this a little bit because it's kind of like curled upwards in a way that I don't want, so I'm just gonna work the leather a little bit. Everyone's talking about beer and crafting, and that is my happy spot. So thank you, my happy place. Everyone's working on stuff or talking about what they've got going on, and also what their favorite beers are. Alright. So this just needs to be like maneuvered a bit. Oh, these also need, these need some edging. So let's just do that. I'm gonna do one side at a time on these so that I don't get my glove fingers all up in this stuff, because otherwise it'll make a mess. So we'll just have to do those twice. Spike is asking what kind of beer does Jared like. Jared doesn't even know what kind of beers Jared likes. Jared likes to take sips out of my beers, and then he will either smack his lips and go, or he'll make some, like, horrible noise like a cat that, like, has a hairball stuck on their tongue and they, like, can't get it out. And he's like, and, those are his two moods when it comes to beers. So much like his taste in coffee, he doesn't know what to order. He just tries mine, and I just bring him something and find out if he likes it or not. So we're not beer snobs. I like to try a lot of different beers. I have some friends who are like really into different artisan beers, and I enjoy like trying those things and being a part of those conversations or whatever, but I don't have anything to contribute to them. Alright, once again, I'm just trying to loosen this up with my fingers. I think the next thing I'm going to do is apply a top coat to these guys because they are ready for that. And then they'll need to get snaps eventually. Katarina cheered 100 bits. Thank you so much, Katarina. Alright, so these are just kind of like reshaping them a little bit. They got kind of like weirdly bent up. I don't know if you can really see it, but the way it's like kind of like curved, I'm just trying to work that out and make it flatter. Kitten is asking if it's normal for it to sag. It kind of gets a little bit distorted by any sort of moisture that's in it, so having dyed it and then letting it sit and the way that the slits are cut out of it is what kind of made it kind of take on a little bit of shape. So that's why it did that. Amanda's here. Hello, Amanda. Oh, okay. Alright, Amanda says the Twitch doesn't work well for her laptop, but she'll stay for a bit. I'm happy to see you here, Amanda. Amanda's a friend of mine, IRL. And she's a wonderful artist. She works for IGN. So you might have seen her work around the internet, or on some t-shirts, or in some thumbnails. Yes, Amanda is a beautiful princess. So you've tuned in at an exciting time where I'm like massaging leather. Loaderbot, I have breakfast for every meal. So yes, I absolutely have. Had Brinner. Breakfast, dinner. Alright, one left. Breakfast is always delicious. I'll eat breakfast at any time of day. Hot leather massages. Come for the hot leather massages. Shadow GX is asking about the tabletop that I'm using, the ruler measurements. It's this grid. So this is actually just a plastic mat that I laid out on the table, and it's not like screwed down or anything. I can move it around or remove it if I want to. The table itself is assembled out of some shelving units and some MDF, so it's all really simple construction. I just screwed the top onto it, and then the mat is just like rolled out on my work surface so that I can cut on it. So you can get these all on the internet. You can get them at Joann or similar craft stores. I think mine came from Joann. Alright, so these are pretty much good. Good. And then these guys I also want to take a look at. So these do have the oil on them, but I'm wondering if I should still put the tan coat on them. I'm gonna get a fresh cup. One more time, collecting supplies from around the room. For this one, I'm actually going to use a little sponge brush. I think that... Oh, Amanda, thank you for following. I think my sponge brush is going to be a little bit more convenient. I'm just gonna lose all of my hair today. I'm just going to shove it under this hat. Okay, so this is tan coat. This is a top coat for leather. It's supposed to be more of a matte finish, but it does have a little bit of shine to it. It's not completely matte. But this is what I have used on all the straps themselves, so this is going to make it match. The finish will match. Oh, Leonovid tuning in. Hello, hello. Okay. This is just a cheap little foam brush. I'm just going to put our top coat on for us. Oh, I also need to do... We'll do these one at a time. So these are the things that I was inspired to bake, is because these are supposed to have straps feeding through one side and coming out the other side, and they're so thin. And there's just like little bitty kind of connectors between those two little, or between each of those holes. And I was afraid that it would get too bent up and flexible if I didn't try to harden the leather. So this is why I ended up putting my stuff in the oven yesterday anyway. And then I was like, oh, I'll just throw in those other pieces too. But they were wet and the heat was way too high. And I should have been more conservative with it and gone slower and like checked it more. Because I was only in there for like a couple minutes, but by the time I took it out, like 3 of them were like toast. Oh, Leonovid says that they've been busy with welding school. That sounds awesome. Tell us more about welding school. Glumshanked also followed. Thank you, Glumshanked. Sorry, I was distracted by myself talking. So I started applying this stuff with the wool daubers, which is what I normally use for like dye and things. And I kind of discovered that brush strokes or whatever are kind of just unavoidable with the tan coat. It does seem to be self-leveling a little bit, so it's not too bad, but I basically just thought maybe this foam brush will have a little bit nicer texture to it compared to the wool daubers that they kind of like shed a couple little, they shed a little bit and then they get kind of weird. So. I'll let that one chill. Pinkthorn says, just remember that the difference between a novice and a master is that the master has failed more times than a novice has tried. That's a wonderful, inspirational quote. And yeah, it's totally true. You know, I learned something new about what can go wrong and ways that I can avoid that ever happening again. And I learned a little bit more about how to predict how the materials will behave and what temperatures and times are too much. Because in the past, when I put things in the oven, I always err on the side of caution. And it's like, you put it in there, you wait 15 minutes, you pull it out, it looks like there's no change at all. You put it in for another 15 minutes, you pull it out. And it's just like frustratingly like ineffective when you're using really low temperatures. And so I wasn't exactly sure what the range of temperatures or times it could handle at the max end of the scale. And so I didn't think I put it in. It was in there for like 10 minutes when normally I've done like, again, 30 minutes or more, 45 minutes spread out into smaller segments where I'm like continually checking it and it just never seems to be doing very much. So I was just like, whatever, let's be a little bit more extreme this time. It was way too extreme. So I'll show you guys my leather chips if you want to see them and how they got straight up burned. So I think right now I'm going to be putting this tan coat on the pieces that are here, which is like all of this stuff. And then after that I will do a brief intermission where I go outside and spray some of my other pieces with another coat of color. And so that's not going to be an actual stream break. I'm probably just going to throw up a BRB sign and be outside for like 5 minutes or so. It's going to be really, really quick. And then we'll reassess and see what else we can do next. I wanted to be done with all of this stuff yesterday, but then having to remake a couple pieces and then beyond that, just kind of forgetting how many steps there are to really making something nicely in leatherwork and like doing all the edging and doing all the sealing and the top coats and like the extra stuff that's not just like put color on it and then stitch it together or whatever. It takes a while. So I'm going to stream for as long as possible today. We'll see what my stamina ends up being. Alright, well, whatever. This might be overkill to be putting the tan coat on these on top of the oil, but whatever. I'm already here. I'm already committed. I've already got this brush out. Hi, Ashley's here. Nice to see you, Ashley. I would love to be a master leather crafter someday. Not there yet, but, you know, I'm continually teaching myself new things. Continually learning the limits of the materials and the craft. So, I'm just gonna keep going, and I'll let you guys watch. Can't guarantee that I will always do it right, but I will always keep trying. And I'll keep sharing my knowledge and my failures. Shadow GX is asking how many brushes I go through in a project. It really depends. So far I've gone through a 10-pack of those little daubers, just because I keep painting, or not painting, but like dyeing in smaller sections. Like I'll dye something and then I only dye a few pieces, but then several hours later need to dye something else and I use a new brush, and so that's kind of my fault. Spike is asking what my streaming gear is. I have some kind of Logitech camera that Jared got me. It says HD 1080p on the front, but I don't know the model of it or anything. And then otherwise I'm just using my laptop that's set up. Metal Jenny's here. Hello, Metal Jenny. Thanks for stopping by, even if it's brief. These have like little fuzzy wool bits on them from the wool daubers. I'm trying to keep them clean because I don't want it to dry in the tan coat. Oh, is Jared also streaming now? He's always stealing my thunder. This is like the third time in a row that I'm like streaming at the same time as him. It's fine. Jared put out a new video today, so go watch that if you haven't. It's a Final Fantasy II video. He punches himself in the face. Spoiler alert. Go watch it to see Jared punch himself in the face. I walked into his office last night when I was done doing some shit. And he was just sitting there editing a photo of punching himself in the face, and I was just like, okay, Jared, this is your job. I'm not gonna ask you what's going on here. Alright, so now I'm going to get this edge just by dabbing it. And then I'll have to flip these over and get the other edge later. This is probably overkill, but I want some really nice harnesses that are going to last a long time and probably be worn by several different people. Yeah, at this point I've ordered wigs for like 4 other Attack on Titan characters. So, I hope that you all enjoy Attack on Titan content. Leonova is asking if I have funny stories of Jared having walked in on him mid-take. I don't walk in on him when I know he's actually filming or recording, so it's mostly me coming across him doing things that he did on film, like, after the fact. I'm just like, oh, Jared. Oh, Jared, why? So yeah, not actually that many. I have more stories of myself, trying to distract him to various degrees of success, like while he's streaming. sometimes I'll come into his office and like, I don't know, start taking off my clothes or whatever stupid crap I can do to distract him. And he's a professional. That guy usually does not let on that anything is happening off camera. Oh, I thought I was, whatever. This is fine. This is fine. It's all fine. I'm not second guessing myself at all. Alright. Alright. I'll probably just have to toss this one. That's fine. Alright. I'll let that hang out for at least a little bit. I can continue to do the other side of these little straps. Oh my gosh. All of your commentary is pretty entertaining. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here and improving my day. I'm already feeling better. Alright, so this stuff dries very quickly. I'm ready to do the other side now. Let me just real quick roll these little guys. I'm just kind of going over it again to make sure that it's all really consistent. Yes, the puns tonight have been on point, so thank you guys for your contributions to the chat. I say tonight, it's like 2 p.m. where I am. Alright. Those guys are ready to chill out for a bit. Pretty much everything over here needs to dry now. Oh, I'm going to check on these, because these should be dry on the edges, but I'm not ready to seal them yet. I want them to have a little bit more time. I'm going to just do like some really simple touch-ups anywhere that is not 100% coated. Yep, that looks good. Looks good. So we'll get a little bit more right there. Okay. Alright, so those are going to chill out for a bit. I think I'm ready to go on my intermission now. Everyone, yes, is talking about what time it is, where they are. This is a party. That's right, it is a party. I don't want to break up the party, but I am going to go outside for just a few minutes and put another coat of paint on some stuff that I have out there. So after I do that, I'll probably need to do that like one more time in another hour or so. And then those pieces will be moving right along. But I don't want to like waste my whole day of not putting that paint on earlier and then just like letting them cure while I'm streaming. So, brief intermission, give me 5 minutes about. I mean, I just did 10, but it'll be like 5 minutes. And then I will be right back. so you guys can just hang out and chat amongst yourselves, I guess. Okay, I'm back. How long did that take? Was anybody keeping track? I was not. Luckily, I went out there and it did not need another coat of color because the first one was so opaque. It looked great already, and so I decided to just go ahead and clear coat them. So that means I don't have to go out there again until I go to collect them, which will probably be a few hours from now. That was only like 2 minutes? Awesome. I'm so fast. Just kidding. I'm okay. I did my best though. I missed you guys. Oh, I just put the wrong lid on this. And yet it worked? Huh. Well, that's interesting. And I got this lid all dirty, but apparently these lids are interchangeable. Don't put a dye lid on your tan coat, kids. Don't do this at home. Gotta go fast. Loaderbot, thank you for the Sonic the Hedgehog emotes. Alright. So at this point, there's not a lot I can do right at this exact moment. Well, I guess I can plan some things. We can talk about some things. I am waiting for a number of these things to dry before I progress in any kind of way. I guess these are, let's see how that stuff dries so quickly. I'm still going to give it a little bit of time before I try to do any kind of sealant on this. But these will get the tan coat too. So I guess it's good that I haven't tossed my brush yet. All of these things over here need tan coat, which is that clear coat. And these things just need to dry. So that's the rest of our to-do list for today, I guess. I'm gonna make sure that I have everything else ready to go. So the things that are outside, the things that I went to go and spray are like my remade version of these gray squares. So this is the part that sits at the lower back, and this is, if you guys have watched the Attack on Titan show, they use this 3D maneuver gear to like shoot themselves around. They're like Spider-Man kind of deal. And so they have like these motors that are sitting in their lower back that are a part of this gear, and this is where it attaches. So this is just like right there, and the gear attaches to it. So with that in mind, I'm assuming that these are supposed to be metal, and that because it's mounted onto these pieces. Now, these have stitching in them, and it's just gray, like vinyl, basically, that this is made out of. It has the rivets, but I wanted mine to like look more like metal, even though I'm still using leather, because leather is flexible, leather is easy to use. And because I was making the rest of it out of leather, I was just like, whatever, I have no motivation to use another material. So most of it will be leather that looks like leather, and then some of it will be leather that looks like metal. And that's what we've got going on with that. Yeah, the 3D maneuver gear is sweet. I probably won't ever have like the full set of 3D maneuver gear unless somebody else makes it. I feel like I don't even know if I'd be willing to buy one at this point because they're so like cumbersome that it would not be fun to walk around in at a con or anything like that. I think I might like rent one if I can find somebody, because I know a bunch of people who own them. So maybe I'll just hit up one of my friends and be like, I will pay you to only wear that for one day. Okay, so I'm gonna check and make sure that I have all of my harness pieces accounted for and there's nothing else that I like need to be actively making, because otherwise it really just comes down to sealing these parts. Still a little bit of color variation. This is the one that got baked. Getting baked. Why is there like a weird... There's like a weird spot there. It's fine. Oh, Ashley said that she started modeling 3D gear a few years ago. Ashley, I was going to ask you something, actually, that's 3D modeling related. And this is probably not the best time, but whatever, I'll just say it right now. Which is that I want a pair of Hanji goggles. And so all it would be a single eye that would be printed twice. It would just be like a little square frame, and it's like a specific shape that like fits the head. So I thought, 3D printing would probably be a good way to make that. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But if that's something you want to help me work on at some point, that doesn't have to be like right away. That can be another time later, weeks from now. I don't care, whatever. But I want to do that, so get at me if that sounds like something you want to help me with. Alright, I'm gonna need to keep myself occupied for a minute, so maybe I will just go ahead and put some tan coat on these guys too, because, I think they're ready. I think they're as ready as they're gonna be. They're not gonna probably get significantly darker, even with more dye on them. Oh, I know what I can work on, and I can't believe this slipped my mind, actually. I haven't I haven't made the main belts. Like, all of the straps that I've been working on are all of the straps that are, like, across the chest, on the legs, across the torso, whatever. The actual, like, belt that goes around the waist is a different thickness, and I haven't made that yet at all. So that's what I'm gonna do. First, I'll put some tan coat on these guys that are currently sitting out, and then they can all be set aside because they're not gonna be ready for a little bit. They've gotta dry completely. And in the meantime, I can start making that belt. Camellia Cosplay is asking, do I have to steal the leather right after dyeing, or could you let it sit around for some time before sealing? Ideally, you want to let it sit around. You don't want to do it right away, but I am moving on. I'm being somewhat irresponsible for the sake of keeping this whole thing rolling. Now that said, I do think these are dry enough that this is going to be fine. If it weren't, I would wait. But I think it will be fine. It's just, I guess ideally you would wait a little bit longer. Oh, Ashley, yeah, don't worry about that. I'm not thinking it would be before AX. Yeah, talking back my Hanji goggles idea. I know that you've got plenty going on. I would not expect to take any of your time before AX. But maybe after AX we can talk about it and, you know, see what would go into that. But, yeah, just something to think about. Let me know. It's a plan that I had in mind, but, of course, I, like, so rarely, like, take the time to communicate to people. I'm sorry. Anyway, Ashley here in the chat, Miss Alpaca Ash, who I'm talking to about doing this goggles thing, is also a streamer who does 3D modeling a lot of the time on streams. And she's working on cosplay for AX2 right now. And she's one of our mods in this chat. So if you're not already following Ashley, do yourself a favor and go follow her. She does awesome crafting streams as well as like just like 3D modeling streams where she shows you what goes into all the preparation for 3D printing. 3D printing is not a shortcut, it's just a different tool. Oh no, Dragon in Galaxy is going to help somebody who put their car in a ditch. Sorry about that, Dragon. We'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, I did this for horizontally, so I should probably keep some consistency here. Hilda is asking if people refer to 3D printing as a shortcut. People who are, I would say, probably not knowledgeable on the process view it as a shortcut for when 3D printing first started getting popular, old school cosplayers who had been using these like torturous, inefficient methods were like, oh, well that's just like cheating. You just like print it out of a machine and you have a prop. Or whatever. And that is not how it works. You know, obviously, if you are making the model, then you are sculpting it in a different way, but still with a similar degree of, like, skill required. You're digitally sculpting it. You know, if you're just buying a print, well, that's fine, too. That still requires quite a bit of finishing work, because you know that well, depending on the type of 3D printer, because there's different styles that do different things, they come out differently and they have different resolutions. But the like standard 3D printer, the one that's the most common, it comes out in like rows of like pixelated looking almost plastic that are kind of jagged. And so you have to seal it, you have to sand it, you have to create a smooth surface and do quite a bit of finishing work to make that look really smooth. Like an uninterrupted surface and get all of those like lines out of it. So even if you're just working with a print that someone else prepared for you, it's still a lot of work and there's still a lot that goes into making it look really nice. So yeah, I've done that a couple of times. I've worked with 3D prints that were like prepared by other people, but it's not a shortcut, just FYI. Oh, awesome. Yeah, Ashley is sharing some links to things that she's been working on. And I know that she's been troubleshooting some issues that she's been tweeting about. So I know that I have full confidence in you, Ashley, to get everything worked out and get it all printed in time. I know that you can do that. And we're rooting for you. Sorry, I know I'm like missing comments in the chat. I'm gonna take a minute to finish applying this so that it's all smooth looking, and then I will catch back in on the things you guys are saying. Give me just a second. All right. Zeta Cloud is asking, is there a gadget for cosplay making that I don't have but that I want to have? A laser cutter. I want a laser cutter, but I don't do enough that would require a laser cutter to justify buying a laser cutter because they're expensive. I mean, I don't know, maybe a bottom of the line one would be cheaper. I don't know exactly what they run, but it's not something that I'm actively shopping for. I'll just say that. Laser cutters are cool because you can cut all kinds of different materials, but they are very useful for leather. And you can do all kinds of like engraved surface designs that are just laser cut and you don't have to do tooling, which is exciting. Although I love the look of tooling and doing it, like if you want that like tooled aesthetic, then there's no replacement for just doing it old school. But if you don't care as much about that and you're just trying to put a design in leather, a laser cutter would be way faster. And I could get all kinds of like intricate cut shapes without having to use a knife and spend a long time doing like tiny cutouts or things like that. So yeah, that would be an amazing addition to my arsenal, but not something that I'm currently trying to get at the moment. Yeah, Killer Cactus is talking about, kind of going back to our conversation about 3D printing, that a lot of tools such as machine embroidery, like it seems like a shortcut, but when you really consider all of the different steps that go into preparing the files and getting everything in, like ready to be printed and embroidered in a way that is effective, it also requires a lot of work in a different way. Cool. So I just completed putting my tan coat on everything. The one other thing, I need to do the opposite end of these belt loops. And make sure they're not stuck down to the paper. I'm not sure if these are ready to be turned over yet, but I might be able to get away with it. Nah. Notifications! Oh, I guess I'm gonna hold on to these gloves. Okay, I'm going to carefully pick things up and move them now. I'm gonna move them out of the way and clear the space off, and then we're gonna make 2 regular belts. Hopefully. Regular ass belts. The last thing that I make. I'm really excited about how all of this leather stuff is turning out. I think the finish on this is looking really nice. and the colors that are coming out. Oh, You Love Lucy, you just arrived. Hello, Lucy, welcome. But yeah, you can see a little bit of the like horizontal strokes in the clear coat, but I think it looks fine. I like how it's looking overall and the way that the colors are kind of modeled. It's still a little bit shiny. I'm hoping the shine goes down a little bit because it's not supposed to be super shiny, but whatever. It is what it is, and I like it. I think it's pretty, and that's all that matters. Okay. The rest of these are just going to get moved on the paper because they're super lightweight. Alright, we've got somewhat of a clear workspace over here. Mostly I'm just accumulating piles right off to the side. Whenever I look like I'm putting things away, it's fake. I'm just collecting things in a different area. Alright. I'm finally going to toss this extra cap. I do not need that. Oh, Spike is heading out. Thanks for stopping by, Spike, and joining us. It was nice to chat with you here. Oh man, Halia Artisan says it. When they were in band, they figured out how to play the iPhone marimba song and would quietly play it during class and watch everyone frantically look at their phone. That's really funny. I also played the marimba. Lightning Fast is writing stream fan fiction, saying that my braid turned into a snake and I had to tame it with my box cutter. You know, that would have been more entertaining than what actually happened, which is just that I showed all my leather work and cried about how far behind I am. It's fine. It's gonna be okay. Alright, I am going to slap another big hide up here and we'll see how much I can fit. I'm gonna scoot this over a little bit. Yeah, Halia says they were a flute player, but subbed in as percussion every once in a while. Same, except instead of playing flute, I played oboe, and so during marching band season, we were a part of the percussion because oboes don't march. Oh man. This piece is huge. I kind of didn't anticipate how huge this was. I might have to cut this on the ground. This is my 8 to 9 ounce hide. So this is one of the thickest hides that I have, and unfortunately I just don't have a lot of, I'm gonna reevaluate this. I think I have another piece that I can cut off of that is not so huge that I can't physically put it on my table. Let me roll this one back up. Alright, we're gonna try that again. I'm gonna cut it out of this much smaller piece. This is an older hide, which is why I didn't go straight for it, because you can see that the color is a lot darker compared to the really light colored leather that I had out here a second ago. But it is the same thickness, and it already has a straight edge cut out of it, and it is much easier to put on my table. So for all of those reasons, we're just gonna go for it. And this is gonna be fine. It will be fine. Next I need to dig out the correct buckles. So I'm pretty sure this one is it. I had a hard time finding various buckles that were all the correct sizes, because this is like 4 different styles. Oh, Luis is here. Hello, Luis. Nice to see you. Okay. So these are supposed to be the like smaller ones. And there's really not a lot of size difference here. It's very, very similar, but this one was supposed to be bigger. I couldn't find... I went to several different leather stores. I went to Tandy, which has a decent selection of buckles, and then I also went to a place here in LA that's local called Save More Leather. It has a ton of buckles, but I struggled with finding the exact ones that I needed. So this is the final... Sorry, this one here is the final belt buckles that I did buy to use as the main belts, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because these are all the same. All the rest of them are the smaller ones. Okay. So this is going to be the length that I'm, or the thickness, the width, that's what I'm trying to say. This is going to be the width that I cut to, which is I think 1.25 inches. It's more like 1 3/16 inches. Okay. So now with my handy duty strap cutter that we have seen many times here on the stream, I'm going to readjust this a bit. I need to open it up for the thicker leather. I'm just going to unscrew over here. G-Man, thanks for the follow. Okay. Alright, now I think this is fine, but I don't have a lot of extra space here on this hide because up here, this is like the thinnest part and I need to get 2 belt widths out of that. So I'm gonna do like a test cut on this other side. This is the very end of this hide. So here's how I will handle it. I'm gonna cut a straight edge over here and then do a test cut of the belt width. Make sure that it's the width that I want. And then if it feeds through the belt properly, then I will cut the real ones on the other side. S-House Studio, or Shouse Studio, Shouse probably if it's all capitalized like that. Thank you for following. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Oh, wait. I also want water. Not to drink, but for the leather. Here we go. So this is just going to make it more easy to dye, or easy to cut. That's what I'm trying to say. Alright, so now we have a new straight edge over here, which is where my test cut will be. G-Man is asking what part am I building right now. Right now I'm doing the main belt that goes around the waist. I've done all of the like smaller strappy belts that go all over the torso and the legs and everywhere else, but I neglected to actually cut the proper belt until now. Alright, so this is the width that we have coming out of our strap cutter right now. And this is what I wanted to test, basically, was that it would be appropriately sized. Yeah, that's fine. I could make it a little bit smaller to help it feed a little bit more easily. Just like barely. Now this is the part that I was kind of concerned about. So these weird, there's like a weird intersection, the way the harness fits together. This is the belt that's going to be like, this is the buckle that's going to be the main attachment of the center front. And then it intersects with these that have vertical straps coming down and attached. And it feeds this, like the waist belt feeds under there and over the little tongue and continues like that. Oh, and that's actually the perfect size. So this is what I wanted to check, was that this belt, so thick though, it's like creating a big lump. It's secure though. I wish I had some leather that was in between these sizes. I'm gonna grab a skiving tool. Okay, just kidding. I'm grabbing 2 skiving tools. I'm just checking the chat comments. Alright, so this is like almost like a razor where I'm shaving off material from the backside. I'll dump this straight in the trash so it doesn't just go all over my floor unlike everything else. So it makes it thinner, but not by like a lot, only by a little. Oh, you know what? I might have been looking at the back of the buckle. Was I? No, let's see. Let's try this again. Oh, that's much better. Okay. I think I had it set up wrong, where it was creating extra pressure. So never mind, this might not be an issue. This might be wonderful. So here it is fed through again. It's gonna have, yeah, it needs to be just barely smaller than this, is my takeaway. Is that I want to cut the size to be like a 1/16 of an inch smaller. Alright, let me check back in on the chat over here. Silhouette Ninja, thanks for reaching out. We don't check our Facebook is not a great way to get in touch with us just because Facebook pages suck so much. They're really pretty terrible. So I apologize if I did not respond to you there. Yeah, it's just not the best way to get a hold of us. So sorry about that, but thank you so much for sending us a message. I appreciate that. Amanda says, I can't believe you're just like making a belt right now. Oh, I'll show you a belt. You'll see this. How beginner friendly is making cosplay? G-Man is asking. It really depends on what materials and like techniques you go for. So like currently I'm doing stuff that is not necessarily really accessible to a beginner, but I'm trying my best to always present it in a way that is accessible because I do believe that anyone can learn how to do this. But at the same time, if it's your first cosplay, it's totally understandable that you wouldn't want to get involved with leather work or other like intense crafts. So yeah, I say that it can be extremely accessible to beginners depending on what you choose and what you are working on. I'm gonna try this one more time in the spot where I didn't do the skiving, didn't like thin out the leather. And yeah, this is much better. I think when I initially assembled it, I had it like on the back side and it was creating extra pressure that it didn't need to. But this is totally doable. That is gonna hold my belts on. And okay, the cheap one that I have creates all kind of distortion where this belt gets like pulled up and like ripples and stuff, but the actual real leather is so much sturdier and thicker that it's not gonna happen. It's gonna stay really nicely in line, and I'm so excited about that. You Love Lucy's asking me if I have a pattern in mind for Celica's dress, because I've talked before about how I use a mix of commercial patterns and ones that I make. I do have a pattern for the dress in mind, but the reason why I haven't done that part on stream and why I've kind of been delaying doing it is because that is a custom pattern, and so I'm wondering like whether that'll be hard to follow for someone who is trying to make this and doesn't have my pattern to start with. But what I am doing is I basically have my own version of a really simple dress that has princess seams, so that's like 2 seams going down over the bust and the front of the body. And so I'm gonna start with that and then make some alterations to it so it has like a more flowing bottom part under the like the hips and the way that it splits out, because it does become different pieces on Celica's dress. And then she also has like off the shoulder sleeves. So there's alterations that I need to make with it, but that's where I'm starting, is just like a basic strapless dress with princess seams that is a base pattern that I have, that I've used for plenty of other costumes that I'm gonna also use for Celica, at least as a starting point. G-Man, you should totally make a cosplay. I'm all about enabling and making other people make cosplay. I'm all about getting other people addicted to cosplay. Gregor is asking, do the tops of the buckles have enough room with the leather attached to them? He's talking about whether or not the leather that's wrapped around this top of it is going to interfere. I did make this a little bit smaller, so like the one that I'm about to cut is smaller than the one that I did just cut. Let's see if I can shave it down. I don't think it's going to be able to because it's so close. Oh, I might be wrong. Hold on. Oh, it's just like barely shaving off this tiny piece. Yeah, this is totally working. Okay, so this is going to be the new thickness that I'm working with, and let's test it again. Because yeah, I was thinking about that, and that's one of the reasons why I adjusted it, but I guess I should show my work to the stream. Now we've got a good amount of wiggle room in there. I don't think that will be any kind of problem. Yeah, that should be good. Because there's a good... How much is that? Not quite an 1/8 of an inch, but close. So that should be fine. Cool. Alright. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting these belts. I'm just gonna commit to it. I'm gonna do like a real quick straight cut across the top here because I think it'll help me get the belt started. Because this part is a little bit like don't know, leather is weird. It has different parts that behave differently because it's an organic material. So I just want to get like a good clean starting point that isn't, it's like softer up here. So I'm just trying to get rid of the really soft part that might interfere with me getting a clean cut. Penguin Cosplay is asking, are the vertical straps from the belt made of thinner leather? Yes, absolutely. They're made of much thinner leather. So I don't need to worry about getting the full thickness of this leather, like, into that little strap. Like, right here, the one that's connected from the top is going to be, like, half the thickness of the one that's feeding through it. And I think I still need to cut off some more up here, because it's, like, just getting bent and not starting to cut properly. Let's see if that helps. Just doing like sort of an artificial start to it. There we go. Alright, here's our strap. There we go. Here's a long strip that's going to become a belt. We'll do one more. Is Jared cosplaying as a Titan? He is cosplaying as Moblet, my faithful assistant. So we can be Moblet and Hanji. We're going to be Science Squad and run around documenting all of the Titans that we find at Anime Expo. Once again, I am just going to barely slice this. It basically like scored it, and it just didn't cut it enough to be a good start, so now we're correcting that. Oh yeah, this strap cutter is so neat. I love using this, honestly. It makes cutting any kind of belts or strapping so much more convenient, because otherwise you're having to like continually realign a ruler and try to keep everything the same width all the way down, which can be difficult when you're doing a whole bunch of them, and this just automates the process and just takes out a lot of the potential for messing up. Alright, so this is how close we got. I guess there's maybe room for one more if I mess up, but let's hope that that's not the case. I'm going to go ahead and set this down now. Alright. Gregel says Moblet is the unsung hero of the series. I said almost the exact same thing the other day to Jared when I was trying to convince him that Moblet is a great character and he's the best and he has fans. Loaderbot is asking, what do I do if I need a strip of a certain length but the hide is just not big enough? I don't have any special tricks. You can, you know, try to to cut two straps and then connect them in some way by either like putting a patch on the outside or the inside, or I don't know. There's maybe ways you can get around that or make it look put together intentionally, or just like stitch it together like with the two ends butted. You can do different stuff like that, but I don't have any like special tricks for doing that. Usually I'll just go buy another hide if I really want a longer piece. Link Fan is asking how close is this to done? It's getting pretty close. It maybe seems abstract because I'm preparing everything separately and you don't see it coming together. But I'm hoping to wrap this stuff up like tomorrow. That would be an amazing goal. Well, I might spend tomorrow working on the jackets, but I guess what I'm saying is I'm prepared to commit about one more full day to these harnesses, and then I'm really hoping that is all it takes and they'll be done and ready. So I am trimming these ends off a little bit. I wanted to just get a nice straight cut, and these are the weird like soft pieces that had like a crease in them, so I don't want that. I want a nice clean end on these belts. Has Jared read the manga? No, he's seen different parts of the manga and different like spoilers that I've given him. I showed him a bunch of like Moblet fan art and I was like, look, he's such an amazing character. Just give him a chance, you'll love him. And he was like, fine. And I think that now he's actually excited about being Moblet. We rewatched the episodes where Hanji is like torturing the Titans basically. And how Moblet is just like always there at her side screaming like, please be careful! It's just like, look Jared, it's us. Alright, I'm gonna grab some other stuff. Here is my stone cutting tool. And what am I gonna do to these right now? A couple of different things. I'm gonna finish this differently. This is gonna look different than the other belts on this because I am gonna finish it, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm signing up to do more work than I should right now. But this is what we're doing, is I'm gonna actually bevel these edges. So yeah, let me set this aside. False alarm. I'm using that right away. This is the edge beveling tool. This is gonna shave off a 45-degree angle right on this corner, and we'll do it on the top and the bottom. I think this will be worth the extra steps in making the belt look really nice and substantial and a little bit different than the rest of the harness. Moblet has had a surprising number of lines in the anime. There was one scene in season 2, which I don't want to go into too many spoilers for those people who may not have caught up or may not be watching season 2 at all. But there was one scene from the manga that they showed that in the manga it was a scene where Hanji was there. But in the anime they switched it to Moblet because of... They kind of like condensed the timeline a little bit. So Hanji was occupied, let's just say. And so for that reason they substituted Moblet in and gave him like more screen time because he was like filling the role of Hanji in this particular scene. So it was actually fine. I was a little disappointed there wasn't more Hanji because I always am 100%. I just want this to be the show about Hanji. But it was nice to see Moblet get kind of a moment to be a little bit more in the spotlight. So now we're doing the exact same thing on the back. And this is going to make the edge look a lot cleaner from the front, actually, because it's kind of getting rid of the fuzzies that are right along the edge. Oh, we have a visitor. Hello. There's someone down by my feet that may be making an appearance shortly. We'll see. We'll see how social he's feeling today. Aries? Hey! Hey! Alright, don't lay down my shit. He's fine. Oh, everyone has their Aries emotes out. And nope, he's walking away. Sorry guys, he was feeling coy. But he did like climb onto the bottom shelf of my little ironing station behind me. What a nerd. Man, Aries is getting all this attention in the chat and he did not even show his face. It's okay. I love him. I know you guys like him too. G-Man is asking me if I prefer the manga over the anime. Not really. I like the anime. I like watching the anime. It's more intense and dramatic. The manga, like the exact same things happen, and to a large extent, the anime is literally just redrawing the exact panels of the manga a lot of the time. But the action is smoother when it's animated. So like, it's harder to decipher the story and what's happening in like really intense action sequences when you're just looking at the still photos. And part of that is like the limitations of the medium, and part of that is the art, because Isayama is not the best artist. But that's okay. He's a good writer and I still like his story. So yeah, I like watching the anime because it is very faithful, or it has been very faithful so far. I mean, they have to change a couple things in order to make it more interesting to watch, but for the most part, you know, I enjoy the anime adaptation. I think it's very entertaining, and just seeing the music, or sorry, hearing the music and watching it all play out smoothly, I think is a much more enjoyable experience for me than the anxiety of reading it. Within One Tiger's getting a kitten next week. Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. I want a kitten so badly. Loaderbot is asking if you heard Jared laugh. That's possible. I can hear him talking loudly from upstairs right now, so maybe it's picking up on my mic. I don't know. Matt M, thanks for following. Welcome to our leather crafting stream, where we're talking about Attack on Titan and making an Attack on Titan harness. Mew Mizu, thank you for showing up. Nice to see you. Chris Amalis is heading out. Thanks for joining us again. It's always awesome to see you here. I like seeing you in the chat. So I'm glad you're able to make it. I'm going to try to do more early streams, but honestly, I'm just so lazy. I'll do my best to start early more often. Obviously, next week is Anime Expo, so I don't know that I'll be streaming my regular schedule for next weekend. But we'll see if I can maybe do a stream from the con this time, finally. I know I keep teasing that I want to do that, and I haven't made it happen yet. But I'm going to try to make it happen. Dragonblade, thank you for following. Alright, last pass. This is the second side on the back. Oh, Mew Mizu says they're tuning in at 1 a.m. Oh my goodness. Maybe Periscope. I know that there are apps that you can download that support Twitch streaming on your phone. So I'm going to try that first, since obviously Twitch is where we do all of our other streams, and that way people will get like their notifications that I'm going live. So we'll see about that. I'm going to try to make it happen. Katar, thank you for the follow. Alright, that's that on shaving these off. G-Man is asking what's my favorite part of making a cosplay. Putting it all together and finally seeing it on me and the fruits of my labor. I do like the leatherworking, the leatherworking aspects of it the most. That's the part that I find like the most fun to do. So this stuff right here. Oh, okay. So this is the end where the belt buckle is going to attach. And this leather I mentioned is really, really thick. And so I'm trying to fold it over right here, and it's still just like creating kind of a, like there's too much volume here, and that's just because of the thickness of the leather. So this is a good opportunity to use our skiving tool, which is this like razor-like thing again. And we're just gonna thin out the leather only in the specific spot where it's gonna need to fold. And you want to try to be gentle with this tool and only go a little bit at a time. It's working nicely though, because you can accidentally like gouge way too much if you're not careful. So I'm really just trying to scrape a tiny bit at a time. Oh, Within One Tiger is posting a kitten picture. I'm gonna need to take a quick break just to look at this kitten. Oh, oh my goodness, what a sweet and precious babby. Kittens have such tiny faces. I'm so jealous right now. I want a cat. Well, I want another cat. I love the cat that I have. I'm like baby crazy for cats right now. That's really cute. Congratulations on the new addition to your family, Within One Tiger. Alright, so this is now folding much, much more readily. And so this is where that's going to go. And I can go ahead and mark my position to do a punch, an oblong punch. So I'm just putting a mark right there on where kind of the peak of that fold is going to be. And now we will do the other one. Dreadful. About that much. It's just kind of an eyeballed amount. You want to make sure that you have enough here to do stitches or rivets or whatever you're going to use to put those together. All the kitten talk now in the chat. Plop that back up there. That's about right. I'm going to put a little bit more on there, or take a little bit more off of there, rather. I have had Aries since he was a baby kitten. I got him when he was just a few weeks old. He was so small, I could carry him around in one hand. Now he requires 2 arms. He's enormous. But when I got him, he was still a small babby. And he relied on me for everything, which he still does. But I mean, like, just desperate for attention, just following me around constantly. Aries is a really cute baby. Small Aries. Just a tiny bit more. Kitten is asking, did I know how big Aries was going to be when I first got him, or was that a surprise? No, I had no idea how big he was going to be. He was like born in a neighbor's garage. So he was like, his mom was like kind of a stray, but like she was like their outdoor cat where like, I guess she would come and go and just kind of lived in the garage. And so she had a litter of kittens and they didn't know what to do with them. So they just started giving them away. And so he wasn't like properly a stray because he like was probably born in that garage. He was like born in a family's home, but he wasn't. What? Shelbs C donated $50. Oh my goodness. Saying, my normal boots jacket is finished. I tweeted a picture at you so you can check it out whenever. This is my first ever sewing project. It's flawed and wonky and I'm so proud of it. Thank you so much for the tutorial and inspiring me to make things. Oh my goodness, Shelbs, that is so kind of you. And that's so exciting, and like, hearing that you made this jacket is a reward in and of itself. I'm gonna pull up Twitter right now, give me just a second, and I'm gonna go to my notifications and check it out. So we can all take a moment and look at it. Or if you wanna share a link in the chat, a mod can permit you. There it is! Oh my goodness, Shelbs, this looks great. And you dyed the trim and everything? That looks really good. You did the sleeves. No, this looks fantastic. You did a wonderful job on this. And I'm gonna retweet you right now. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. Thank you. You have like made my day. Not with the donation, I mean, thank you. But just the fact that you made that and put all of the work into that. So many people have told me that they're gonna do the jacket and then just don't go through with it, which is fine, you know, everybody's got their own stuff going on. But that's like so rewarding to see someone follow that tutorial through to the end and actually make the finished piece. So thank you so much, you just like made my day. I'm like getting emotional, I'm sorry. Oh. Alright, so Shelbs just shared a link in the chat so everyone can go and click that and easily see what she just tweeted at me, which is the normal boots jacket. And I did do a YouTube tutorial on that when I made my jacket. And so, yeah, that's awesome that you have completed that to 100%. Or with the patch, will be very soon, anyway. That's so exciting. You did a wonderful job with that. Oh, yay. What was I saying about Aries? That he was a baby and I love him. Oh, that was my doorbell. I'm gonna see if that was a package. I'll be right back, guys. I'll be back in like 1 moment. Okay, it was a package, I'm back. I'm gonna open this up on stream too. This is like a double unboxing today. Watch this have nothing to do with any costumes. I'm just like showing you guys my weird mail. No, I did order this. I just didn't expect it to be here. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have something cool to show you. These are beautiful. Okay, I got these on Amazon, and I did not expect them to be this nice. And I also didn't expect them to be here this so soon. These were supposed to arrive like between Monday and Wednesday of next week, according to like the like estimated shipping. Okay, so these are the. It should be, yeah, 3 of each. So this is 2 full sets of patches. Now, this does look a little bit different than these, but I don't care, they look good. Like, the colors are just barely different, but whatever. So my plan for these is not to permanently attach them to the jacket. I'm gonna put Velcro on the backs of all of them so that I can switch the patches out on the jacket to be Garrison or Trainee Corps or the military police so that I can do different characters. So yes, man, this is exciting. We've got all kinds of stuff coming in. Guys, today has been an awesome day. Halia Artisan is asking, where did I get these off of Amazon? I can look it up and tell you, but the fact is I bought the last two that were available, and I was like amazed that they were available at all as full sets. But I bought the last two that were in stock. So they might not be listed anymore, or that seller might restock. I don't know, maybe they're gone for good. But just Google, not Google, search Amazon, and you might be able to find them still, or they might be coming back up. But anyway, I'm really grateful that I was able to get two full sets on such short notice, and so I'm happy with the quality of these. I think they are nicely made, even though I wish that they were you know, like perfect matches. I mean, I'm happy with them. I think this one especially is really beautiful, and I was worried that they would be ugly because these big ones are kind of weird. So these do have like an iron-on film. This is the back that I'm looking at right now. You can see that it's shiny. This is an iron-on transfer material, so you would stick it down and then iron it on. I think that what I'm gonna do is create like another backing. So I'll like a thinner piece of fabric, basically. I'll stitch the Velcro onto that and then iron it on, so that way the iron-on adhesive will be used, and then it won't just be... That way, in case it gets hot or gets, like, I'm wearing it outside in the heat or whatever, the iron-on transfer material doesn't end up inadvertently heating up and sticking to the jacket permanently, since I want it to be removable. So basically it'll have another protective layer on the inside that will Velcro onto the jacket. So that's my goal and my plan for these, and I'm so excited to get them in. And now everything's coming together, so now I have to finish these jackets. So shout out to the postal workers and to Amazon for getting these to me so quickly. And I will set them aside. Oh my gosh, between this and the jacket leather that came in today, I'm really stoked to work on these. Yeah, Pinkthorn is suggesting Etsy for patches. I think that you can still get them there. I know that Funimation was really cracking down on anybody selling anything Attack on Titan related on places like Etsy. I'm gonna have to sacrifice part of this belt because it's got some damage there where it's like basically cut. Anyway, so I'm not sure if they're still available on Etsy, but they used to be for sure. And you can find them on eBay or Taobao or wherever else. The mailman is the true greatest superhero of the American people. I fully support that statement. I always get excited when mail arrives because I'm constantly ordering like craft supplies from various internet retailers. So I'm just trimming the end of this because there's some damaged leather right here that is not going to be useful, and it'll end up probably getting cut even shorter later, but that will be good for now so that I don't have to worry about that. Okay, so I'm in a great mood now, guys. I'll put these away. Well, I'll leave one out because I'm gonna use it for reference. Okay, so here earlier I marked the spot where the belt folds over and where these buckles are going to be installed. So the thing that I'm going to do next is punch a hole for that to happen in both of them. So we are going back to my stone slab, and then I have a cutting mat right here, a cutting board. So for this we're going to be using another oblong punch. I'm wondering if I can get away with using a smaller one. I have a 1 inch and a 3/4 inch, and these create slotted holes. So it's not a circular hole, it's an oblong hole, hence the name. Before committing to it, I like to press it into the leather and create an impression so that I know exactly where the final hole will be. That looks good. Clarice MJ, thank you for following. Alright, I am satisfied with the placement of this hole, and now I'm ready to punch it. All right, so now we have a slotted hole right there. And the reason why you want this to be kind of this oval shape and not just a small circular hole is because this tab needs to be able to swing back and forth. And so creating that slotted hole gives it room to do that. And this one is actually going to be the perfect size, so that's wonderful. All right, so now we just have to put a hole in the other one. And then that is how our belt is going to be attached. Bang, bang, bang. This is Loaderbot. Thank you. Are we still talking about band? Everyone's talking about school. You Love Lucy said they got some leather dye today and going to try to recolor some thrift store boots. If you, yeah, give it a shot, see how it goes. If you're having trouble getting that old leather to absorb the dye, it most likely has some sort of sealant on it. So you could take like a little cotton swab with some acetone on it, like nail polish remover, and just lightly go over the whole thing to remove any sort of like unseen clear coat that's on it, and then put that dye on, and then you'll probably be golden. So give that a shot if there's any sort of problem with it absorbing. But that's awesome. Let me know how that goes for you. Okay, next one. Once again, I'm applying a little bit of water with a sponge to make it easier to punch a hole in the leather. Water facilitates all kinds of impressions or molding or hole punching that needs to happen in your leather. All right, I'm committing. Here we go. Oh, sweet. You Love Lucy said that you got to prepare with the dye. Then you're probably golden. You know, maybe try acetone if you have problems with it, but that prepare should be fine. I don't mean to be what's the word? I don't want to give you too much unsolicited advice. It sounds like you've got it covered then. So, but let me know if you do have any questions or anything that needs to, if you're having any issues with anything that happens, we will troubleshoot that. All right, here we go. So now these are both ready. The next thing I'm going to do is put some dye on them. Now, I'll probably punch the holes last, which means I will have to touch up the dye, but that will give me more of an opportunity to try it on and make sure everything's fitting me the way that I want it to. This is a good song. Man, I'm feeling so much better. You guys have been wonderful company for me today and really just improving my mood. Okay, so I'm done punching holes for the moment. I have these two belts that are ready to be dyed. And so to do that, I'm going to grab my paper, I'm going to lay the paper out again, and then we'll dye these belts. And then maybe revisit the other stuff that I've put down here on the floor and see what else we can do on that. I have been streaming for about 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'm going to go for a bit longer. We'll see how much we can get done today. But it kind of depends on how many tasks I can do before I just like reach a stopping point where I don't have any more to do on this right now. I was hoping that we'd be assembling today, but not at the rate that we're going. Because I'm still waiting for things to dry and all the top coats to like cure and things like that. So I want to make sure that I'm not rushing too much, just to make sure that everything is the quality that I'm looking for. Captain Daikyo. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to our leather stream. Oh no, Pinkthorn is having trouble detangling a wig. If you have any like specific wig detangler that can help you, I've also had good luck using a steamer, which I don't know, not everybody has a steamer, but you can get them relatively cheaply, like little portable steamers. I have one, but I think it's like put away. I don't know where it is at the moment. That steamer can put the, like it emits the steam, so it's got hot water, or yeah, vapor coming out of it, water vapor, and that can loosen up the fibers and make it a little bit easier to brush through. So maybe give that a shot if you're still having trouble with it, and definitely brush from the bottom, which means like start close to the bottom, brush a little bit, go up a little bit, continue brushing, and move along that way, and those are the best tips that I can give. If anybody has wig advice for Pinkthorn in the chat, please don't hesitate to share. Firebur, thank you for following. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. Firebur. Alright. So I have several other dye colors. First of all, these belts are gonna be a different color than all of the other belts that we've done so far. Which is consistent with the design. On the harness that I bought, this is how it looked. Now, I'm looking at the reference photo, and I can't tell if it's supposed to have a 2-prong buckle or not, but I only have a 1-prong buckle. Hopefully that's fine. The next thing I'm going to do is test the dye. So I'm going for a lighter color, I think, than the rest of it. I'm gonna check I have some like reference photos saved. So let me pull one up and just take a look at it. It's a slightly lighter color, but it's not like way lighter. So with that in mind, I have been using Bison Brown. I got this other stuff called Canyon Tan, and then I have another, let me grab my swatch ring and I'll show you guys. Okay, so this is my swatch ring, which includes samples of all of the different leather colors that I currently have. I need to make a sample for the Canyon Tan because I've never used this color before, I just bought it. Perfect. These are just like little scraps of leather that I hold on to, and I cut them into these shapes and put a little hole in them so that they can go onto my swatch ring. So this is something I created. These are just like little scraps of leather that have all been dyed with various dyes that I've used over the years. So I don't have every single one of these dyes in stock right now in my inventory, but I have used them before, and so now this is my reference point for what all of the colors look like. And these are the ones that I like the most. So this is the Briar Brown, which is a stain, and it creates kind of a more muddled effect, and it's really good for going over any sort of engraving or tooling on the surface because it like pulls out the highlights and creates some depth of the shadows and things like that. There's Acorn Brown, which I do not currently have. Timber Brown. And this one's called Saddle Tan. I think that the Canyon Tan is similar to the Saddle Tan, but we'll see. I will mark this Canyon Tan. And then all I did was get one of these like little bead chains. I forget what they're called. It's actually 2 short ones combined. And then they all get saved on the ring. I have several different swatch rings like this now because I have so many different swatches. So these are all of the leather dyes. I have another one that's all leather paints, and then I have a third one that's all metallic paints. So this is just my like personal reference for what colors you can get for your dyes. Let me check on everybody's comments. People are talking about how to, people are giving advice for detangling wigs. So it looks like Miracle 7 leave-in mist or Black Vanilla leave-in conditioner. A little goes a long way on the conditioner. Thank you, Misty Legend Cost, for that tip. I've never heard of those products before, but that sounds like a good bet for some kind of detangling. Okay, hopefully that is gonna give you some good advice, Pinkthorn. I hope that you are able to get that wig in order. So good luck with that. We're rooting for you. Isaac is asking me how the Twitch partnership is going. I still haven't applied. I need to do that. I finally been consistent with my streams for a few weeks in a row, so I might be ready to apply, but I just haven't yet. I don't know. I hope they want me. I talked to a couple different people about it who are either partners or they are in the know, and they seem to agree that I shouldn't have any trouble getting partnered if I'm consistent, assuming that I'm doing everything on my end. And so I just haven't taken those steps yet. I keep saying that I'm going to, but I just haven't yet. Alright, before I open this, because this is still a sealed bottle, I'm gonna shake the crap out of it to just mix it up and make sure it doesn't have a bunch of congealed stuff or anything like that. There we go. It just starts bubbling up the second I break the seal. These things are hard to peel off, which is why I'm just going straight with the cut. This is probably overkill, but whatever. I got it out. Now I need to clean this off. Ashelia, thank you for the follow. Welcome to our leather crafting stream. We are currently making some belts that are going to end up on an Attack on Titan harness. Yeah, this is the Zelda music. We are listening to DJ Cutman and several other game chops bands, but mostly DJ Cutman. He's a wonderful artist and friend. Okay, this is one that's marked. Alright, so here's our Canyon Tan. Well, that's darker than I expected, but I like it. We're going to compare this to the other parts that we've dyed and see what color difference we're going to achieve there. But this is the scrap that I cut off of the end of this belt just now. And so I'm going to use this exact piece. I know I just did a sample, but this one is going to be an even more accurate sample for us because different hides absorb color differently depending on the age, depending on the tanning process, depending on the thickness, depending on the quality of the leather. All of those things can subtly affect how much dye gets absorbed or how vibrant the color is. And so it looks like these are going to be very, very similar. It's not creating a significant difference. But since I had a scrap that is from the exact same hide, I thought, you know, this is a good opportunity to test that this is coming out exactly the way that I anticipate it will, based on a swatch that was done, you know, out of a different hide. So anyway, that is that. I'm going to put the lid on this again for just a moment. And then I'm going to visit the other pieces that we have over here and compare the colors to each other. Loaderbot says, this is more exciting than opening a jar of Nutella. Glad you think so. Solo Vable? Solo Vable? Maybe? So lovable. Oh gosh, I can't read. These like words that are put together, I like read them in different... Oh, I do this all the time. Anyway, so lovable. Yeah, I should have gotten that one faster. So lovable, thank you for joining us. Thanks for the follow. Okay, this is my darker color that we've already used on the straps, that we've used on this like weird pouch part that goes on the outside. So this is what the majority of the harness is going to be, this shade. And now I'm looking at this one and wondering if I like it or if I'm going to go with another color. I might go with another color. Okay, yeah, I think this is a little bit darker and redder than I necessarily want. So once again, I'm returning to my mix here. Saddle tan, timber brown. I don't have that one. I don't have acorn brown, but I do have briar brown. So this is going to be my like other option. Alright, I'm going to dig through my leathers, or my dyes again one more time to see if what I actually currently have. So this is a Briar Brown Highlight Color Stain. It is a slightly different product than the regular dyes. This is what it is. That probably looks really similar to you guys, but this one has way more of a red tone than this one, and I think that this one is more of what I want. So even though this Canyon Tan was nice... Oh, I've also got Timber Brown. Wait a second. I thought I didn't have Timber Brown. This one's Timber Brown. Oh, I really like that one. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can have another scrap here, because this has way more of a contrast. It's a little bit more interesting. So I'm gonna do Timber Brown if I can. And once more, I'm gonna test it on a scrap that came from the same hide. Here's a small piece. Got it cut off. Oops, I'm getting it on this other belt. Mew Mizu's asking me, what was the favorite part of the Dieth costume that I made for Jared? I really liked making his little, oh, this one I didn't even open the whole lid, I just cut a hole in the top. I really liked making, sorry, his, knife sheath. There's like a 3-part knife sheath that I made for him, and I made some little fake throwing knives too, based on a real throwing knife that he had. This is still getting pretty dark. Oh, I wish I hadn't dripped all over, that's fine. But it is different than the other one. Honestly, yeah, because this looks really different than this one. These are supposed to be the same color. Which are clearly not. Because this is absorbing more color. But I like it more than the other options that we have explored today, so I'm going to just cut to it and start dyeing. I'm going to go with this color. And I am going to cut the whole lid off, because otherwise I'm going to keep spilling it, which is not what I want. Yeah, Jared has a... Sorry, I was always telling like 2 stories at once. When I made Jared's Dieth costume, he had a little sheath that's attached to the back of his belt that has room for 3 knives in it, and they're like, I like designed it to be at an angle so that he can like quick draw them and like have it be like ergonomic, I guess. And then he wore the costume for the first time at TwitchCon and was performing. They were doing their actual like D&D show where they like do the episode live for a live audience for the first time, and he did a bit where he like was making some kind of joke, and he like slid out of his chair and just like slid down onto the floor so that he was under the table. I don't remember what the context was, but it was some funny thing he was doing. And in the process of doing this, he caught the back of that sheath, like it was sitting on the back of like the small of his back basically. He slid out of his chair, and the handles of the the fake like plastic daggers snagged on the chair and just snapped. He got 2 out of 3 in one go. And I was just like, really? You've been wearing this costume for like 1 hour? But that's the difference between someone who makes the costumes and wears the costumes, is that you tend to be a little bit more protective of it when you made it yourself. But it's fine, I forgave him. Okay. Joe the Boyle, welcome. No, it's okay. I mean, those daggers were not... They weren't particularly nice, first of all. They were just really quick, like, mold and cast of a dagger that he had. And, you know, I can remake them, I just haven't. So there's my priorities, is that I just haven't made this for him. Okay. So on this one, I am going to be paying a little more attention to getting these sides, because unlike the other belts, we're not going to use the edge coat on this. We're just going to dye it and then do burnished edges on the belt, this belt only. Just trying to get it to absorb somewhat evenly, and also make sure that the edges of this strip are nicely coated. This is a good song. I like this one a lot. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly go over these edges again. Double check that everything has some color. I'm not gonna do like multiple coats on this one probably. I'm happy with the color that we're getting just with one coat, even if it fades slightly. I think this is gonna be nice. With the other one, my goal was to get them to absorb as much of the pigment as I could and get them to be pretty dark. But this is... I want there to be a little bit of contrast, which is one of the reasons why I'm not trying to do this one the same color. And so with that in mind, I'm just going to go with the color that this gets with one coat straight out of the bottle, and that should be fine. And there's one belt. Done! Or at least done for now. I'm going to lay this down over here, let it set for a while, let the dye really soak in, and then do a clear coat of some type over that. Probably that saddle, or the tan coat. I'm just gonna put a little bit more on this middle section. See if I can get it to absorb a little bit more evenly. Well, I just ended up covering the whole thing again, but that's fine. It'll absorb. Alright, so I'm gonna set this down and then I'll come back and check in on your comments and stuff. Oh, Within One Tiger is heading out? Is that it? Gotta go feed her family. Alright, well, thank you for stopping by. It's nice to chat with you again. Have a good day. We'll see you next time. I should make Jared make his own costumes, but he doesn't have time for that. Usually when he gets dressed up, it's because I wanted him to dress up. Alright. Time to dye the next one. Lizette W, thanks for following. Welcome to our leather crafting stream. We are just dyeing a belt. This is a part of my Attack on Titan harness. This is actually the last strap piece. Everything else was made separately, or together rather, and then these belts are the last thing that I'm finally churning out. The main belts to go around the waist. Oh, Ty is really gay, says they also have to go. Alright, thank you for the good luck. I appreciate you being here and saying so. Alright, I'm just going to go over the top one more time. Try to get a little bit more even absorption. I think this is going to look good. Okay. Once again, I'm going to set this one aside. The dye soaks into it very, very quickly, and it becomes dry to the touch very, very quickly. But we don't want to handle it for a couple of hours while it's fully absorbing. And you don't want to seal it until it's you know, nice and soaked in. So that's going to be it for that part for today. We'll give it some time to set up and then do burnished edges and then a top coat. Aw, Magical Kit Kats, thank you so much for that nice comment. They said that they like my crafting streams over anyone else because they're so relaxing. Well, that's very kind. I know that there are lots of other amazing Twitch streamers too, but thank you for enjoying mine, I guess. Captain Daikyo is heading to bed, I guess, also. Well, good night. Oh, that's cute. Lucy said she made a Tenzin outfit to go with her Lin Beifong outfit. That's awesome. I like low-key ship them, but only in the past, because obviously he's married to someone else now, and it makes me sad. I know that I got photos and video of you at DragonCon as Lin, but I didn't see his costume. So if you do want to show me your Tenzin costume, I haven't seen that one yet. That sounds awesome. Miu Mizu is gonna head out for a little bit, or gonna head out soon. Okay, Well, I've kind of got everything over here waiting for something else to happen. I'm gonna really quick run back outside. I'm not gonna do another coat because it's been almost 2 hours since I put that clear coat on. So I think that I'm ready to bring the pieces inside at the very least. I'm not gonna like do the rivets on them or anything like that, but I do want to show you guys what is going on with that. So give me just 1 minute. I'm literally gonna walk outside, grab them, and come back. So yeah, hang tight and entertain yourselves for a moment. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Okay, so these are the things that I was outside painting, and they look almost white in this lighting, but as I move them, you can see that they're silver. So these are the like faux, or they will be faux metal. Right now they're just flat silver, but I'm gonna do a little bit more to them. These are the part that connect in the back. It's gonna be like this. I changed the shape a little bit to make them a little bit wider and a little bit shorter because there's conflicting reference images. And so basically a lot of them, they looked really square, but then as I looked closer, they're not really true squares. They are this kind of like weirder shape, but these are like really long and not very squarish. So I kind of just refined the shape a little bit. It's very similar. It's very much like the same design, but I just kind of made it my own by changing it up a little bit. And I mentioned that I was going to do like a faux metallic finish. Right now, they just look white almost on my stream. But they are very shiny silver. They're going to get some distressing and some aging to make them look a little bit darker and more genuinely metallic, I guess. I don't want to handle them too much because it is still curing, but they're dry to the touch. I just don't want to mess with them too much. But I wanted to bring them in before I forgot, and I wanted to give it an opportunity to show them off here on the stream. And these will be assembled with with some straps, some scraps of the straps, during my assembly process whenever I'm ready with that. Alright, so these will also be set aside for the moment. Okay, the last thing that I can definitely occupy myself with during this stream is putting the last bit of tan coat on the one side of each of these little belt loops. So I did the main portions of these belt loops, but I need to get like one outer edge on each of them and make sure that I have them set up right. Oops. Okay, coming back over here. Oh, so lovable. This is their first Twitch stream, but you enjoy following my Twitter. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you are enjoying it as well. Camellia is also working on a prop right now. Okay, Lucy tweeted it at me, so I'm gonna go really briefly check Twitter and see about this Tenzin costume that she made for her husband. Da, da, da. Oh, that's so cute! Oh my gosh, you guys look so cute together. I love how into it he is. He's like, yeah, my airbending pose. Oh, that's awesome. Alright, I'm retweeting you too. I need to spend some time looking at my other notifications, so if you guys have been tweeting at me and I haven't noticed it until right now, then sorry about that. Daughter of Ungoliant, sorry, donated $10. Thank you so much. And says, I'm sick in bed and your stream is the only thing making me feel a bit better. That's really sweet of you to say, and I'm really glad to hear that because I was feeling really crappy, not physically ill, but really sad earlier today. And being with all of you here has really improved my mood, and it makes me happy to hear that other people are experiencing that too. Although obviously you have more reason to be upset if you're feeling physically ill. So everyone send some well wishes to Daughter of Ungoliant so that she I'm assuming is a she for your daughter, but anyway, so that they are feeling better soon, I hope. Franny B is heading out. Nice to see you. See you next time. Also Casual Viking. Alright. Well, that's fine. I think this stream is going to wrap up in a few minutes, but before I do that, I'm going to really quick put a last bit of tan coat on these belt loops, which I prepared. So I'm going to see if my brush here is still good for that. It might be a little bit crispy because I let this just like dry, but it's going to be fine. For what we need right now, I think it's, oh yeah, that's still spongy. We're good. Alright, so I'm just going to be tapping these. Oops. Gently. Just trying to get the top edge. Let's space them out a little bit more. Yeah, this is probably going to be the end of our stream for today. I wanted to be assembling the straps themselves, but there was just too much little finish work to do on other pieces. So hopefully, I don't know. I'm probably going to do a bonus stream, if not tomorrow, but then maybe Monday or Tuesday. Someday before Wednesday, you will most likely see me on stream assembling this harness, because I've done all of it on stream so far, for the most part. And I don't want to break that momentum, because I know people are curious to see this come together. So, expect at least one more crafting stream from me on these harnesses. And even if they aren't fully done on stream, I think that will give you all a pretty good look at the entire process, more or less. Or certainly enough that you could figure out the final little bits if you are planning on doing this project for yourselves at home. But I will continue to post, like, progress photos and stuff like that, too. And the jackets I'm not going to make on stream because, like I said, I need my time to really concentrate on those and make sure I'm doing them right. But definitely expect some progress photos on that as they shape up over the coming week, regardless of whether or not they are ready for Anime Expo. And that is going to be that, pretty much for tonight. Pastel Galaxies is also heading out to clean their rabbit's house. Yeah. Thank you all for the well wishes to Daughter of Ungoliant. I love Kotori Minami. Hello. Unfortunately, we're just ending. Yeah. This is going to be the end of my stream for today. I've been going for about 3 hours, which is pretty good, I think. So sorry if you're just showing up. Sorry, I love Kotori. But that is good. I'm going to call it for now. I'm going to take a little bit of time to relax, and then I'm going to start working on these jackets, because I really need to get this underway. And honestly, I'm so excited to have my, not just my leather, but also my patches ready. I'm probably going to go post a photo of those right away. So, thank you all for joining me. Sorry, Kotori, that we're quitting right as you show up. I apologize. But you can watch the archive if you want to see what we did today. And otherwise, expect another stream from me sometime in the next few days, and I will try to tweet about it in advance or something like that. So, yes, it's been 3 hours already. Thank you so much for the well wishes on the jackets, rotisserie children. And for everyone else, good luck on all your projects. Those of you who are working on various art or costumes, continue to work hard, and I'll look at your progress next time. All right, good night / good afternoon / good morning, wherever you are. And yeah, I'll see you guys around the internet and hopefully at another stream in the next few days. All right, bye guys.